For anybody?
We can get started and then we can go from here.
Cool.
Um, yeah. So hello everyone. My name is AJ Adejari, representing Bits and Bio Philadelphia. Today we have Anthony from IONOS as well as Omnia, a city co-captain of Bits and Bio Philadelphia, that's going to show us the practical use cases of AI. Before we start, I just want to give a brief, quick introduction of Bits and Bio. Bits and Bio is a nonprofit that focuses on the software tech world meeting the bioeconomy, whether it is with tech, data, AI, bioinformatics, leveraging that for bio, whether it is with medicine, whether it's with animals or other means. So we have multiple different chapters throughout the United States, particularly in the East Coast area. We have New York, which is okay, but we have particularly the Philadelphia chapter, which we represent. And we have multiple different events, including Show and Tell 2026, that's happening next week. As a part of Show and Tell, a particular time that we're going to dedicate to just build in the AI bio and in the tech bio area, we have Ionos here, represented by Anthony, to show us how we can leverage some of the platforms for AI. That way, we can not only take advantage of what Ionos has graciously decided to donate as a premier sponsor, but for show and tell, but also be able to leverage that for future cases when you want to think about building within the tech bio AI space. So, with that being said, I'm going to leave it over to Omnia to start.
All right. Are we ready for the demo?
Yes. I brought one of my coworkers on who is AI focused and has built quite a few projects.
Mhm.
So for this demo, what I'd like to do is go over our platform as well as how to interact with it and the different features you can take advantage of.
All
And then
right.
he will actually give a little bit of a demo of the projects that he's built for internal use within the company as well as for some of his own side projects. With
Amazing.
that being said, he did message me. Could you? He's not in the. He's in the meeting, but he wasn't accepted. There he is.
Here we
Perfect.
go.
Awesome. That's Isaiah. He will be helping me with this demonstration as well. So if we're good to go, could you enable screen sharing for me?
Sure. Let me see. Mm, I don't think I have permission to do that. AJ, can you do it?
Yes, yes, I can. Sorry for
Okay.
that.
Thank you.
Okay, so you should be able to screen share.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So we're going to start with the platform. Um, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. So this is the main data center designer. And in this main page, you can actually very clearly view all of your resource allocations, as well as your soft caps. We do have soft caps in place. So just in case someone, gets access, they don't burn through all your resources or anything, just a security measure. If you do ever need more resources than what are provided, please feel free to shoot me an email and we get those increased. Now, the meat and potatoes of the platform here is actually our virtual data center designer, where you can drag and drop and build CPU-based architecture. And later down, we'll go over the GPU use cases as well. So first, you need to click create in Canvas, and then label your data center. You can just call this test one, and then select where you want the data to reside in. We are an international company, so we do have quite a few data centers spread across Europe as well as 3 in the States. So we do have a West Coast, East Coast, and Central. I always recommend going with Lenexa. It's one of our newest data centers, has some of the best technology, and it's right in the center of the country, so you get really good latency and ping rate across the board there. After you click create, you're actually prompted this drag and drop interface where you can drag out 3 different type of server classes. So we have cubes, vCPUs, and dedicated. The cubes are going to be your most common server type that you're going to interact with. They come pre-configured with core, RAM, and storage based on these t-shirt sizes. The next tier up is going to be the vCPU. This is going to be a little bit more performant, as well as a lot more customizable. So you do have the preset vCPU preset sizes, as well as you can drag and drop out your specific drive and configure it exactly how you need it. So a bit more customization there. And then the next tier up is going to be our dedicated. This provides even as much customization down to the CPU architecture and even the quarter gig of RAM. For most use cases, our customers and our clients and people who build on our platform typically work with the cubes and vCPUs, as they are the best bang for your buck and the easiest to spin up and deploy. So we're going to work with this cube here, and we're going to create a very basic web server here. It's as simple as once you've configured your CPU and RAM, you want to click the storage and then select your image type. We do support Linux as well as Microsoft images. If there is a version that isn't on here, you can always FTP upload whatever version you'd like. Once you have selected your image, you need to create a password here. This will be for your console. And then my recommendation is to upload your SSH keys and inject them into the server upon provisioning. Once you've configured the image and the storage, then the next step is pretty simple. All you need to do is drag over your LAN and connect it from the public internet to your web server. Final step before provisioning is you do want to enable the firewall. So we do have a port-based firewall built in here where you can enable for ingress, egress bidirectional, and then even open up the specific ports should you, if you want to open up any specific rule. We do allow every single port to be opened, 65,535 of them. We have no limitations unlike other providers. So you can even open up SMTP port 25 should you need it. We do also have some rules from templates here should you need them, like a generic web server, which automatically opens up 80.443 and then the other for FTP. Once you have that, your firewall configured, it's as simple as just clicking provision changes and your server's provisioned. That's a very basic infrastructure overview. What's much more possible here is the complex infrastructure that you can actually build relatively quickly. So a very common setup that we see here is setting up a cube as like a firewall and then bringing out something like a load balancer if you have that type of traffic, and then balance that said traffic between two application servers or however your application would function. And then one of my clients specifically has an infrastructure built directly like this, where they're able to have a firewall routing traffic between two application servers with a third server downstream hosting their database. And the best part about this is everything behind this firewall here is on a private network. So it's not publicly accessible, making your application code very secure. Any questions so far from anybody? No? Now, the next thing that we have, we do offer our AI model hub, which is I'm sure where a lot of people are going to be very interested in. So this is OpenAI compatible. So the same API structure you can use within our AI model hub here. We do text generation and image generation and embeddings, and we do have quite a few models you can choose from, including the GPT OSS 120 billion parameter model. Now, my recommendation is to interact with this programmatically. It's best and works best via the API. And the best part about this platform is we can give you the generic code to get you started. It's very as you can see, it is very similar to the OpenAI API, even uses the same packages there. Going forward with that, we do offer for more of the advanced infrastructure and application needs. We offer managed Kubernetes should you need scalability and things along those lines. We do offer databases as a service as well. So this is managed databases. So we take care of basically everything except for the data being put in it, meaning all the uptime and the updates and maintenance and things along those lines. The next part would be our object storage, as well as our backup unit manager. So our object storage is actually going to be pretty massive for most AI development if you're going to be training your own models. So our object storage is one of the cheapest and one of the most performant dumping grounds for data that that is available in North America. It is S3 compatible, so it is plug and play. So if anyone's already utilizing AWS's S3 or Azure Blob Storage, you can just plug in our endpoints which you would get through the bucket setting right into your code, and it's plug and play. Next tier up, we do have your IP management. So we do, if you do have static IPs for your project that you'd like to bring over, we do support bring your own IP, as well as you can manage your own, or you can reserve your own IPs right here in the platform, as well as a site-to-site VPN gateway, a CDN, and auto scaling. And the last part is your token management. So this is where you're going to be reserving your API tokens, and any token interact with both the AI model hub as well as our virtual data center designer. Now that is the overall scheme of our visual data center designer here. Now to spin up virtual GPUs or GPU servers, we do that is only available via API deployment currently. And I actually do have a script, an entire repo that I can send out to the group here, where it's more or less plug and play with just your API keys and some other little information, where you can actually go out and spin your own GPU up. Can you guys see my VS Code instance right here?
Yes.
Sweet. Perfect. Cool. And in this repo here, I have everything that you would need, right down to all the documentation and how to actually run it, as well as delete your GPU. So we're going to run Python deploy GPU. We're going to run that. It'll take a couple seconds. Ooh, great. Love errors on a demo.
It always happens.
Always happens. Always. I tested that like 10 times today too.
No, I know.
But in theory, what would happen is after you run that code, you would you would actually spin it up and see a little GPU node sitting right here, similar to a cube, already pre-connected to the internet. And the last thing you would need to do in that step is just configure firewall access. In the script that I had wrote, which I will again provide to the to everyone here, it does actually have a spot to automatically inject SSH keys and pretty much everything you need from a very base level to spin up a GPU server and interact with it programmatically. And that is a very long-winded way of explaining the platform here. I will actually turn it over to Isaiah now, who has built quite a few different projects within this platform that will be great to show kind of the capabilities of what our AI can do. And I'll turn it over to him now.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And what a wonderful demo. I want to just point out, I think I might need to get permission to share my screen as well. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. AJ, can you do it? Here we go. I think you have permission now.
Perfect. One second, I just have to give Zoom permission.
Okay.
All right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everybody. So my name is Isaiah. I work as an infrastructure and cloud consultant. I wanted to show you a couple of our applications that I've built with our AI Model Hub, as well as just a little bit of insight and information about our AI Model Hub and what you can do with it capability-wise. So I'm going to show you 3 applications, and I'll break down one of them just because the code base for the first one I built is the simplest. So you have a decent amount of capabilities, like Anthony said, from image models as well as large language models. And using document collections, you can actually build a whole RAG system with these models. So the first project I built with this was Ashley, which is pretty much a chatbot trained off of our cloud documentation. And the basic goal of this was to create a large language model I can interact with and kind of consult with for cloud needs. And it's working off of Meta's large language model, which I believe is about 8 billion parameters. And it's really good for conversing, and it's open sourced as well. So I could simply text it and type hi, for example, and I'll get an easy response. Another app I wanted to show you guys is a personal one, which is one that kind of structures the document collection that I'm saying with a large language model. I'm writing a book and I decided to put a chatbot in the right-hand corner, and I'm able to use this chatbot to reference my documents and give me insights. And the last one I wanted to show you is a little bit deeper, which is a sales tool for agents to consult L2s as well as consult a chatbot if they need assistance. Again, these are just kind of snippets of the capabilities you can do with the AI Model Hub. But again, I wanted to break it down and just give you a little sample, and I will go a little bit over Ashley and the code behind it so you can get an understanding of where to get started. So the first thing I want to do is show you our DCD. So I'm not sure, can you see my screen fully here?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Sorry.
Hi.
The presentation's a little different on my monitor. So here, this is where you see the AI Model Hub. And what's a little confusing for some of our customers is they're like, okay, how do I get started programmatically? So what you actually need to do is get an API key. So if you go to the top right corner and go to Token Manager, you can generate an API key. And you can actually set it for its time limit. And all you got to do is click the time limit, whether it's 1 hour to a whole year. And you just click generate token. And from there, you have your new token value. You can copy and paste it and download it, save that token, and definitely don't share it with anybody. So as I go back to Ashley, what I did with that is I took my API token and put it in my config file. So I was able to run this Meta large language model. So again, the IONOS AI Model Hub is an inference as a service platform. So what we're really going for here is for our customers to be able to understand IONOS is hosting these models and we're handling the GPU infrastructure. So you guys just really have to make the API calls. And for the people who have any data concerns, it's GDPR compliant. All of IONOS data is sitting in European data centers for our AI Model Hub, specifically in Germany. So again, anybody who data sovereignty and governance is very important. This is a big deal, so you know your data is safe. The key thing I really wanted you to take away from this, and it's kind of what Anthony said earlier, is that our API is OpenAI compatible, so very easy setup if you're used to doing that. Real quick, again, I'm using the Llama 3.1 8 billion instruct model, and that is a mouthful, but it's got 8 billion parameters, so I get it. Meta, again, made this open source model, and at first, we weren't super impressed with it. I would say the developer community was not the biggest fan of it, but as the open source community for Meta's models grew with Llama, as well as a lot of people on Reddit, it gained a lot of traction and experience. So I decided to start testing with this model, and it could actually answer very basic questions that it's trained off of. So sorry. And it's not going to directly spin up a server for me, but it will give me some concrete instructions at a basic level on how to spin up a server from AWS, DigitalOcean. So again, very general, very basic, but for an entry-level chatbot with very little code, you can go pretty far, especially if you're trying to white label this or implement this in specific existing SaaS applications. So when we talk about the project architecture, and I did say I was going to go over the code. So for this code, it's on the smaller side, thank goodness. So I'm actually going to break it down. It's very simple. It was really three files, and for people in professional development, I wouldn't recommend putting your API token in your config file. I'd definitely use a .env or do some type of secret management. But again, this was my first test, so I will explain it this way with a config demo file, so you won't see my API key. Anyway, again, so this was simple in my SRC. This was a config file. I had a backend file as well as an app file. The app file is basically my UI. The backend file has one function, which is query underscore IONOS, that really makes the API call. And my config file, again, for this has the API token, the model name, and the endpoint URL, again, just for testing. So as you can see, this is where your API token would go. And remember, a few minutes ago, I was able to produce that in the DCD manager. You would put your model name here and your endpoint. For my app file, this is pretty much where I built my UI and the sidebar and how Ashley would interact with the user. And again, for my backend, you could see where I set up my headers and my bearer with my IONOS API token. So this is something I can share in GitHub for you guys as well if you would want a simple setup of how to get started with the IONOS AI Model Hub. Because again, that was my first project once I got into developing with AI. And from there, I was able to take my ideas and use it for my stories and have a personal chatbot that is RAG trained using my personal documents. And even from an enterprise standpoint, where we have agents and people needing assistance, but not having L2s and L3s available for escalation. And now they're able to use AI chatbots trained off of company and product information, as well as competitor information, to pitch, retain, and help people with SaaS inquiries. So again, I just wanted to really touch on this from a high level, not really go too granular, but these are some of the capabilities we have with our IONOS AI Model Hub. And I haven't even scratched the surface on image generation with Flux and Black Forest. So if you would love to get started with that, feel free to email Anthony or myself for any help with getting started. So again, high level overview of our AI Model Hub and some of the applications I built with it. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us or ask them here.
Sounds good. That was really good.
Thank you. Give me one.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you very much. Any other, do we have any questions or anything?
I don't have any questions.
Okay.
I do want to say, since everyone, I'm assuming people who are watching this will be attending the Bits in Bio. For anyone who does want to take advantage of the of our platform here, I'm going to send AJ the all the instructions for any attendee to take advantage of the $200 in credits.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Okay. Thank you all. This was great and awesome. For those that are watching virtually, this will we'll have this uploaded for the Bits in Bio channel soon, as well as sending it out to those that are going to be at Show and Tell 2026 in the next week. So thank you all. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.